Alright, what is good? We are finally back. I took a little bit of a break from doing YouTube videos and a little bit of just a break in general. But we're back recording a new build video. Also, I had some trouble making thumbnails because the thing I was using to make thumbnails was a pain. And decided to put watermarks all over it so I couldn't use it, so I had to figure out something new. But the thumbnails should look kind of the same as what we're used to. But anyway, we're getting in. We have a Leatherface build. The meta has changed midway during me making these, but we've gone with the award-winning chili, which means that your sweeps have got a little bit longer in the charge, a little bit more, and then we go with the beast marks as well, which means you get more sweep movement speed, and it just overall gives your chainsaw more of a push every time you're using it. Then of course we're going with corrupt intervention, lock up the gens at the start of the game, give ourselves a bit of a chance to actually find some people. Bamboozle. Anybody with a chainsaw is pretty good with bamboozle. You block off a window, you just chainsaw around, you maybe get some plays. Bamboozle kind of works with the chainsaws a little bit. Then we've got Scourge, Pain Res. We've seen it before. We've seen it many times. You hook somebody, it knocks down. And new in this meta is Grim Embrace. Every time you hook somebody and you walk away from them, it locks up gens. And if you get all 4 people hooked and you walk away, it locks them up for 40 seconds. It only locks it up for 12 seconds any other time. But if you get everybody hooked once and walk away, 40 seconds of lockup. So this seems like the new meta kind of build. But let's get into the first game and see how it plays out for us. That's the best we can do. First game in, and we get the decimated Borgo, the red and orange map of hell. Not the greatest map to be starting with, but hopefully our games go okay. I have 2 interesting games loaded up, to be fair. I remember them being pretty fun for the most part, but Alan is just not wanting to move off of that at all. He just wanted to kind of vibe, get into an early chase, trying not to mess up too badly. Bamboozle, of course, kicking in on that window, and he kind of heard it. So only downside to the add-ons is it takes forever to charge up the chainsaw. It takes very long to charge it up, but sometimes it helps. Sometimes it gives you the little boost to make them go for a pallet or something. So not too bad. We do have to hit with an M1 to start this game, unfortunately, which is not the best. I love somebody that's going to waste a pallet at 5 gens at the shack. You do love that, but cheese is going on a little bit. This Alan is dragging me around pallet to pallet. He knows where he needs to go. He knows where he needs to be. There's another pallet. Kind of gets himself stuck in a weird spot there, to be fair. And I wasn't really bothered using the chainsaw and risking it on that little small loop. A quick down, a very, I wouldn't say it's a quick down, and then out of nowhere comes another Alan. As you can probably tell by the fact there's 3 Allans in the lobbies and everybody's using flashlights, this was recorded around the time Alan had come out. I'm also going to try, and anybody that watches this video when it drops, or anybody you'll be able to talk to me about this. I'm going to try and make release videos for when DLCs actually come out, because I never did it for Chuck yet, I never did it for Alan. So when the Unknown finally drops, I'm going to try and make a video just kind of like showcasing the stuff, talking about it. It could be interesting, because everybody seems to do that when DLC comes out, and I've just never done it, so I should probably get on it. Also, this has not gone too well as the start of the game. The Allans have kind of bullied me a little bit here. I've lost a gen, but all these pallets disappearing is good. In my eyes, I know it's a long ass chase for nothing, but he is wasting an awful lot of pallets, which is only a plus. In my mind, this is only a plus that he's wasted out so many pallets. Also, it's nice back making YouTube videos. I've had a couple of problems with YouTube in general, just trying to get videos to post, and then them being like, no, you can't do that, or like, oh, it'll post, but then it won't actually go out to anybody and nobody gets to watch it, so I have to delete it and repost it. And then the thumbnail issue, the thing I was using to make thumbnails decided to put watermarks over the entire thumbnail, so you couldn't make it, and I wasn't paying fucking €50 a year just to make a thumbnail for YouTube, so I was like, no, so I had to figure something else out, but it's basically going to look the same. It won't look all that different, to be honest. Chainsaw there. I was actually watching it there, I was like, there's no way I fucked that one up, did I? But no, we did okay. And on top of it, the entire team decided to be flashlight babies, so I had to get very alert about this team and how it was going to be playing out for me because they were all over me and they all had flashlights. Because again, this did drop in and around the week, or this did get recorded in and around the week that the Alan Wake had come out. So the video is a little behind, but the meta still stands a bit because we haven't had a massive change to perks and such since. And when the unknown comes, there's going to be a couple of other changes, but I don't think there's anything massively meta changing or breaking in the unknowns chapter, as far as I can tell. Other than, I think I've said it on stream, by the way. Check the description for the link for Twitch. You know, check it. I have said I'm going to stop running Sloppy Butcher and Save the Best for Last, because Save the Best for Last just doesn't seem worth it anymore, and Mangled is being changed in the Unknowns update, so Sloppy Butcher is just going to kind of be like, it's going to be kind of okay, but I wouldn't say it'll be amazing anymore. Like, it won't be very useful. But I could be proved wrong. Sloppy Butcher could fit right into next meta. This team is crazy dropping pallets. Like, they're not giving it a chance to just... Every pallet is just going. Which, in my books, that's good, because I don't need to do too much maintenance. I can just break them all with chainsaws later on and just clear through, so... It's especially that one, the bottom guy. He's really just very heavy into his pallet dropping. I honestly don't know how that didn't save. And I remember when I picked him up, I was like, I'm gonna get blinded, aren't I? But I don't know how that one didn't get me. That one, I don't know how that didn't get me. The Allens were just everywhere this game. Just like, they're all over the place. Is the only thing I have as like a plus from this game, I think, is that the Allens decided to be so flashlight heavy that they kind of screwed themselves over a little bit. And so far we got use out of all of our perks. A terrible pallet drop there. The background player or sprint burst into the drop of the pallet to do nothing was just miserable. But we've got use out of all of our perks. That is our third lockdown of Grim Embrace and our third Pain Res as well. So gens are getting kind of bet up at the moment. Getting some nice chainsaws as well. You love when you get a nice little long extended chainsaw into a distance or up a stairs or something and you land it. It just feels very good. It feels super fun. But the hooks are starting to gather a little bit. We're already on 3 gens, so, you know, it's not bad. The hooks are starting to gather. Just kind of hoping now that we don't get overpressed with gens, which this team weren't really looking to do gens for the majority. They were kind of, hey, let's see how many blinds we can get. Also, I want to know some people's opinions on the new kicking gens a certain amount of times and then it locks. I've never had a situation since it's come out, I think, that I can remember, where I've been absolutely like ruined because I couldn't kick a gen again. If it goes to a point where you do it, I think you just kind of also, I don't know how I missed that there. I got body blocked and then I just missed the swing. But I think if you're kicking a gen that many times and you're not like focused on what you're doing and not paying attention to the other ones, it doesn't happen often where you've got a gen locked and you're like, oh, I wish I could kick that now because I can't. The game's screwed for me a little bit. Like, I don't know how I keep missing on this. This Leon was just and sometimes you get that in this game as well. You throw a couple of swings out to try and hit somebody and you're just like, why are these not landing for me? Like, they're so close and it's just not landing for me. But you just need to use your mega brain. Trying to get use out of these pallets. We're down to 2 gens now. The Allens are starting to kick through, and look at that, all these like pallets that have been dropped have just made this Leon's run here very, very bad. But also, how did I miss? How? And then he does the same thing and I'm kind of on it, but like 3 times I whiffed at that Leon. 3 times I whiffed at him. I don't know how I whiffed 3 times. But there is all of our pain reses used, and once I move away, now 40 seconds of gens being locked, not being able to be touched, is a long time in DBD, especially when it's late into the game like this, where there's a couple of gens probably getting work done, there's a couple almost done, so Ooh, it's a bit rough. Grim Embrace is definitely, it's definitely a strong perk now. Don't know what they're all doing, trying to like just get in the way. I obviously whiff again on the Leon, and we've got our first kill. And now I'm left with 2 Allens and a Leon that basically has a force field around him because every time I try to hit him, he's just not getting hit. Very good chainsaw, and also very lucky that I got the hit there. I bumped off of the boxes on the side, but also hit Alan at the same time. So I'm very lucky I got it. Then Alan is obviously coming in, and they're all just everywhere. They're just all over me. So he saboed that hook, so I was like, cool, not going to be able to get that then, so I have to come over here. And that is 2 kills. So now we're just down to 200 people. I thought there was somebody in that bush as well. I was genuinely convinced there was somebody hiding in that bush. I was like, wait, where did they go? Are they over here? But no. We've got our boy over here. Mr. Leon was working on another gen and somehow has found a pallet here. And he's done very good there because I actually thought he was going to double back and hit me with it. But also used a nice dead hard there. Like, I couldn't even be mad there. That was dead hard being used to absolute perfection, and then kind of fell apart from there. A little tiny bit of that just falling apart on him. And of course the one hook I'd want was saboed and broken there. So, crying, pain. Not in the worst spot here though. Not in the worst spot. Like, this game, again, it kind of fell apart. That's it saying I've kicked it 4 times, which I've seen that a few times where you've kicked it 4 times, but I've not had a lot of you've kicked it 8 times now, you can't kick it anymore. I'm trying to pretend I don't see this, Alan. And then look at him. Like, I was just like, nope, you can't see me, I'm hiding behind this. Everywhere is clear of pallets though, other than where he literally was just stood. Everywhere else here is basically dead of pallets. And Leon has let himself die, and this Alan, again I get whiffed there. I need to just mega mind myself into not swinging at some of those. But that is game 1 done. I can't lie, this build, I got a use out of all the perks. Like, we did Bamboozle, we had Corrupt at the beginning, we used the Pain Res out to extent, we used the entire of Grim Embrace. But like, this game was mainly just the Allens just trying to save each other with flashlights and stuff, and then it was just fed to me that I was getting a win here. So it was a good performance, but I don't think that was the hardest match I probably would have ever had to test out this build on Bubba, to be honest. But that will probably be put to the test in the second game. Let's just have a quick look at the lobby, see what everybody was doing, and we will load into the next one. Couple of nice builds, a lot of flashlights. Like, everybody had a flashlight there, it was crazy. But that is game 1. We are going to get into game number 2, and let's see if the next team put up a bit of a fight. Ooh, Mother's Dwelling. Okay, a bit of a bigger map, bit of a more difficult map, honestly. It's I always hate when I see this map as killer because it's so big, it's so difficult to try and see. But also, it's kind of easy to keep chases on this map because of how big it is. There's a lot of space between a lot of different pallets, and very quickly we found somebody here who is instantly just hitting me on the head. But it's got its pros and cons really. The pros are that it's very hard to get in between tiles without getting hit because the tiles are like, they're very spread out. They're not just tile into tile into tile. There's a little bit of a space between every tile. I should have chainsawed there as well. So it's not that bad, but it's the fact that the map is absolutely massive, and trying to keep any pressure on gens is painful. And straight in for the shack though. The one thing you definitely don't want to see is shack this early on, but the bamboozle and the chainsaw revving did force her to use the pallet, so it's not that bad. Once you think of it like that, it's not that bad. And we've gone straight over to a really dead area. So I've got my first down, meaning Corrupt is now ended. It's not bad. We got a bit of a chase and we got a down while Corrupt was still up. But also we lost a gen. A very, very fast gen. So Pain Res will hopefully kick down another one for me. But the building gen getting done first that early I don't think I'd complain too much ever, and I honestly don't know how I noticed him there. I don't know how I noticed him, how I even got the idea that he was just stood there. I just walked around the corner and just assumed, like with my brain, that there would be somebody tucked in somewhere, and there he was. Felix is definitely a little bit of a questionable chaser. Dropped the pallet miles ahead of me. He could have got a loop out of that and then dropped the pallet, but he dropped it miles ahead of me. I am looking at pain res because I'm worried that somebody else was on a gen here, so I feel like using my second pain res charge here is a bit of a waste. I could have probably just red hooked him and maybe gone for him again at another point, but if anything, it's just pushing down gens. I did notice somebody on the hill there, which I definitely didn't notice when I was playing it the first time. I noticed somebody on the hill there, but those things happen. Sometimes you miss little things. You don't spot people. Straight back onto the poor Nia here, and then obviously bamboozled that window, so now she can't go there. And Felix has already screwed her here, and there was the dead hard. The Felix using that pallet screwed her up. Really screwed up, and also 2 pain reses used, but DS! And then Grim Embrace has got 2 stacks used up as well, so everything is going pretty good. Very clearly waiting for a pallet, so I didn't even step into it or anything. I just stood back, just swinging the chainsaw. Again, the beginning of this has gone well. Again, when it comes to chainsaw killers, I think it's good to throw pellets because you are going to just end up down if you don't, but the amount of times like people don't make enough space for themselves is also kind of tricky when you're playing against a chainsaw killer. Like, some people just get themselves into... I got very confused there. Even watching it back, I was like, what am I doing right now? So now we're down to 3. She played that very well. I'll give her that. She waited so patiently to make sure that I tried to make the move before throwing that pallet. So very good on her behalf. But then I kept the chase up long enough where she's ran out of space, so she had to jump into the locker. That second gen popping was probably not the best thing for me. Also, going straight for a white hook here, which I don't know why, because I'd already put her on a white hook. I could have went anywhere else, but I guess it was the closest one to me, so it's just like, cool. Instead of wasting time and giving her a chance to get away, we'll use it. And now we're back on feet. Like, we've just ping-ponged between 2 people. Which, would people call this tunneling? Like, oh, you've gone from one person to another person, back to the other person, back to the... Like, it wasn't my choice. I just kind of got who I got, and that was it. The Felix is not a chaser. If anything I can say, the Felix is definitely not a chaser. My guy is not good at the loops. And I put him back on a white hook as well. I'm kind of not using good use out of these white hooks. But there's quite a bit left to go in this game. This game definitely... It doesn't stay being easy looking like this. But even that, we've lost 2 gens for just 4 hook stages, and they're all on the same 2 people. Like, 2 people are on dead hook now, and that's it. Like, it's not easy. Gens are all getting worked. I'm trying to kick them down when they're over 50 just to be like, keep a little bit of pressure. Definitely keeping an eye over here, because I really just in my own head was like, somebody's going to be here, right? But I try to wander around. I don't want to go too far, because if I go the whole other side of the map, that's just giving a free save, and I'm not that dumb. I'm not that dumb, so yeah, I am kind of proxy camping right now, but honestly, as mean as it is, probably felt like I needed to do it. And there we go, we've got a little Ada coming in, which, fair. I don't know what happened here, right? I'm just stood here looking at them, and I think I was just being nice. I think I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do anything, but it wasn't. I'd got stuck. It wasn't that I wasn't doing anything. I got stuck. I moved into a little space there, and it happened again. I hit her, and then I got stuck. So like over in that little square, I just got stuck. I don't know if it's a bug or if it was just something was happening, but I genuinely actually got stuck. And then I was kind of just like, do I want to play the rest of this game now? I keep getting like, I just got stuck. I could have like, but then I was like, no, you know what? The game is going fine. It's not that bad. I was like, do I want to keep playing? I remember this. I got stuck in the area over there looking at her getting the unhook. And then I was like, do I want to play? But honestly, the rest of the game was fine. And it could have been worse than some of the other ones I recorded, because there was another one where it was just pain, like genuine pain. So I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. The game is still going fine. We've now got Ada down, and a pain res can get used. So that's the third stack of pain res, and Grim Embrace going to be activated. The only thing as well about Grim Embrace is sometimes when you're going to kick a gen and it locks up, it just holds up your time a bit. It really just like locks up some of your time. It's not long, like it's what, 12 seconds and then into 40 seconds. The 40 seconds one is useful. The 12-second ones though, sometimes I'm just like, I just want to kick something. I just want to get the progress going down a little bit. But it has its uses. It's very, very useful most of the time. So you can't really complain when the perk is keeping people off of fucking gens for a little bit. Now we're back onto Felix, which has proven to not be the strongest looper in the team. So I'd just bamboozle that, but he's just holding W, which is smart. I'll give him that. It's definitely probably his best option there, because if he had kept into that loop and I bamboozled, he was dead. I just tried to dead this pallet as well, because I'm like, any pallet that's down I can just get rid of is probably best. Just clear out as many little loops. He's doing okay now, but honestly, I think if he'd have just held W there instead of going for the window, he might have made more distance on me here. Like, he tried to go for the window, backed away from the window, then I see somebody else, but I'm like, yeah, we ain't letting you get a save. Down to 2 gens. Down to 2 gens still. It's not bad. And I do kill a white hook by hooking up Felix here. Felix probably, unfortunately, had himself a really bad time there, because I did proxy camp the hell out of him, and then his loops just weren't strong. Like, anytime he was in the loop, it was just a matter of time before he got caught, instead of, hey, he's going on for too long, I'm probably going to give up on this. It was just inevitable that he was going to get caught, because his loops weren't very strong, which is unfortunate. But now we're back onto our old friend Nia, who is definitely a little bit more smarter in the loops, a little bit more patient. And the bamboozle's getting the W's here. I had to block out 2 different windows, and we're going to go and try and bait her into that, and she does. So now I'm just like, right, where can we go from here? Probably not a lot of options, so we're going to chainsaw. And Nia just sticks herself in the corner. And then I bump off something. It's just, it always happens when you get somebody in like a little tight space like that, there's like a little corner. I'll always bump off of something. It is really annoying. But we're going to have maybe 2 kills here, unless the Yunjin, who has not been hooked yet at all, gets in the way properly, and Ada just slipped off me there, takes a hit. I don't know what was really happening here, but Ada took it down, and it did save the Nia, but I don't really know what was happening there. And I think maybe at that point that was them just throwing the whole game there, because I do get 2 downs now instead. I get Ada and the Yunjin, which, did that really need to be done? They could have just let the Nia die maybe and pushed the 2 gens themselves, but I guess they were trying to be nice, and they had hooks in them where Nia doesn't, so yeah, it's a good idea. I guess it drags out the game a bit, but it ends up putting a whole lot of pressure now on Nia to save the rest of the game, instead of there being 2 people to play out the rest of the game. But we'll see how it plays out. Ada's already been saved, so that's good. I am now instantly looking for a pain res and my final Grim Embrace. So we kick back the most work on gen, and then when I walk a certain distance away, that's it. The gens are locked up for 40 seconds, and that is a long time. Ada, unfortunately, is the one that crosses my path here. And that's all the gens locked for the 40 seconds now, and I'm getting to kill Ada as well. It's just, mwah, chef kiss, and they all cower away from coming over to take the hits. Which I don't blame them, because it was way too close. Somebody was definitely dying there. But like, the build just works. It goes very well at just keeping gens down. The bamboozle locks up loops. Nia's trying to bait me into not going for the window, but like when you're doing little spins like that, I'm going to be patient with it. And that leaves Yunjin, the one who was the last one to be hooked and kind of just wasn't around all game, to end up fighting for Hatch. It's a good match overall. It was definitely a tougher match, other than probably the Felix. I think the rest of the team were fine. Felix just felt like he wasn't really built for looping and stuff. He was probably doing good like gen progress and stuff, but he wasn't really good at keeping in loops. So me and Yunjin now have to kind of face off a little bit for Hatch. honestly though, when it comes to situations like this, I don't care. If I find it first, cool. If I don't, I'm not really, oh no, I lost the 4K. A hatch escape is whatever. It's it's literally a guessing game. Whoever gets to it first, cool. Other than that, and there's scratch marks over here though, and she is injured, and unfortunately, she has she's kind of just ran straight into me. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just chase her around. Let's see what happens. Instead of like revving the chainsaw or anything like that for a little minute, let's just see. Does she make a little mistake or anything like that? Let me play that. Nope, she didn't even bait into it. I'm just like, it's game over here, no matter what happens. So I'm just like playing with her. I could have probably cut this bit out of the video, but I was just like, eh. So I'm thinking there about breaking the pallet. I'm just like, I have to, I think. Because if I want to even try and catch her, that has to go. She's so patient. She's very, very patient with just standing there. Like, I don't know how she doesn't panic at any point, but that's the difference between the good and the bad survivor, I guess. And she's just kind of running, hoping to find it, and she didn't get it. And that is games. That is the Leatherface build that I currently think is meta. She does obviously get adrenaline here, but it's game over. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, to be honest. Like, if you aim for the white hooks especially, you're doing a lot of damage to gens and then keeping them off of gens with Grim Embrace at the moment. With the current meta of Grim Embrace, it's a pretty good build. Bamboozle on a chainsaw killer is always good. Like Hillbilly and Leatherface both get good use out of Bamboozle if you want to use it. It's pretty good. And then Corrupt just gives you that little bit at the start so that like every gen is and get a bit of progress in it. But that's it. That's today's video. Check the description for the links for the Twitch. There's a Discord one in there too. Join the Discord. Hopefully I'll have another video out on the Friday of the week this video comes out, because I know this video now is going to get pushed back and around because thumbnail stuff was all weird and YouTube being weird. So hopefully on the Friday I'll have another video as well. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to try and do videos when new DLCs come out. So thanks for checking out the video. If you made it all this way, hit the like button, leave a comment please, because it helps with the algorithm of YouTube doing things. And I'll chat to you a lot later. Peace!